the chain of miserliness. Here's what the first Dalai Lama says. Binding embodied beings in the unbearable prison of cyclic existence with no freedom, it locks them in craving's tight embrace. The chain of miserliness, please protect us from this danger. Locks them in craving's tight embrace. We get locked. So, the chain of miserliness. Miserliness is, part of that whole cycle of what really keeps us in cyclic existence is our craving more, better, more, new, better, more. And the miserliness is the aspect of that once we have it, we cannot let it go. So that line about, caught in the tight embrace, it's like we're locked into something. Even as we're drowning, we can't let go of our things sometimes. We're so clinging to it. We can't share what we have. It's an inability to give. It's an inability to be generous. And it's driven by a fear. Really, and it's an illusion, really, that if I hang on to this, it has this kind of quality. If I hang on to this, I'm safe. If I hang on to this money, if I hang on to this possession of my great-grandmother's, if I hang on to this sweaters that I've had since 1971, somehow there's a feeling of safety. Or as far as the sweater of 1971, it also affirms my identity. I was somebody. I got the sweater in Nepal. I got the sweater in Ireland. I won this award for being the best spelling champion in 1965. Let go of the medals. If I let them go, somehow I lose some part of myself. When the truth is, it's these very things, as the first Dalai Lama says, that locks us into samsara, into the prison. It's these very things that are holding us. So, this is the season where, and I cannot think about the chains of miserliness without recalling a very vivid image about the chains of miserliness that came hundreds of years later, 1843 to be exact, when Charles Dickens wrote A Christmas Carol. And the ghost of Christmas Past, Ebenezer Scrooge's partner, who had died 7 years before, Jacob Marley, appears to him on Christmas Eve. So Scrooge, to fill in people, if you fill in a little background, Scrooge and Marley had started some kind of money-lending business or something. Anyway, by the time the story opens, they had been very successful, had seats on the London Stock Exchange, and were into money. And you see that Scrooge is really terrible in treating his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who has his sweet little family. He never lets him build a fire to stay warm because Scrooge is so tight with his money, he doesn't want to waste the coal. Bob Cratchit doesn't make enough money, so his little family is eking by. He has his little son, Tiny Tim, who is sick or crippled or something. So you get that Scrooge is really miserly. So on Christmas Eve, 7 years before, his partner in crime, his partner in business, Jacob Marley, had died. So on this night, when Scrooge is about to have a transformation, Marley's ghost appears to him. And in the movie I watched every year as a kid, I think it must have been the 1938 version of this film, but you hear the chains of Marley scraping across the floor. Great, so there's this chain sound, and Marley appears to Scrooge in the middle of the night. This is Dickens' description. Captive, bound, and double-ironed with chains, which are described as long and wound about him like a tail. His chain is made of cash boxes, keys, padlocks, ledgers, deeds, and heavy purses wrought in steel. So what Marley explains to Scrooge is this is the chain he forged in his life, unknowingly, as a result of his greed and his selfishness. And for Marley, different paradigm, he's now kind of sentenced to walk eternally with this chain around him of his miserliness. So he spent his life obsessing over money, mistreating the poor, filling his pockets, and not letting go of anything. And his message to his old partner is, you have a chance to change here. You could undo your chain. It's as long as mine. But you have a chance to actually be generous. So, it's a Dickens story. He does. And that's really fantastic. And fortunately for us, we don't have this idea from the Buddhist point of view that we would be doomed to wander in eternity with the chain that we have, dragging around that chain that we built. But we do know that our actions and our miserliness does create causes for future suffering. And miserliness is particularly painful mind right now. The mind that just can't let go of anything. So the antidote is generosity. Not just giving, but actually cultivating a heart that really delights in giving. Delights in seeing the response on the face of the people that we give to. Delights in letting go. And the surprise result of that letting go is a sense of freedom. A sense of joy, whereas it's our miserliness that makes us feel like if we let go, we're going to lose everything. When we do, there's just a sense of openness and possibility and happiness. So we all have places where we're miserly. We're all, maybe it's our books, maybe it's our time, maybe it's our love, maybe it's our grandmother's stuff. We all have things, even those of us who have supposedly given up most of our things, we still have things that we cling to. I keep that same, somebody gave the Abbey, the nuns, these nice little flower cups, hand-painted, anyway, these lovely little cups, that I keep giving away, and then every once in a while it cycles around and ends up on my desk again. So I've got it again. This cup is, I don't want to let it go. It's pretty. It's a nice little thing. It's a stupid thing to be miserly about, but I can be quite possessive. There was a time when I gave it up and somebody else used it for months, and every time I passed her desk, I'd think, that's my cup. It's not my cup. But that mind of, it's mine. It was mine at the beginning, so it's mine forever. That kind of mind. So, 'tis the season. Whether you whatever your point of view is around December, this winter holiday season is a time for giving. It's a good time to change our ways. I know someone who once had trained her little girl that whenever she got something new, she, of her own accord, learned to go pick something of her own stuff and then give it away. So that whenever she got a gift or people came over and bought her something, she always found something and gave it away. And I thought, what a great training. Wouldn't it be great if I did that? I never have. But as a practice in cultivating a heart of giving or a heart of generosity, it would be a great antidote to this. So may we be free of the chains of miserliness, and may we cultivate a heart of giving that, so that nowhere at any time will we wake up in the middle of the night with the ghost, chained ghost over our head going, change your ways.